Hi, everybody. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and we're going to have an amazing core and stretch class today. It's going to get started in just about 2 minutes. Highly recommend that you have a block nearby, maybe even start using the block because we are going to start in a kneeling position. Also, make sure that you have a strap nearby. And you have an option for one of the abdominal core focus exercises to use weights. So if you would like to have some weights nearby, I'm gonna have some fives out just for a little something something, nothing too intense. Let's meet back on our mats in just about 1 minute. Great. All right, so we're starting off in a kneeling position today. Uh, I encourage you to have your strap nearby because we're going to use it in just a couple minutes. Find what feels good for you while sitting on your block. Recently discovered the idea of turning the block longwise to actually support all of my glutes. What a genius idea. Let's take a couple moments right here to just start to breathe without making any sort of adjustments. Maybe you close your eyes and just tune into yourself. And however it is you're feeling today, let's just take this breath to be here right now, to let anything and everything else go, to appreciate this moment that you've created for yourself. Hopefully, you're already starting to feel the stress of the day melting away with that slow breath. Exhale even slower than inhale. Inhale, exhale might even sound like the gentle roll of the ocean. And think of your breath as being the release that takes all of your stress and just allows it to wash away. We're going to get blah, oh my gosh, English. We're going to get a couple of neck rolls here next. So before we get into those neck rolls, take a moment and actually notice where your body is. Are you hinging forward a lot? Were you leaning back much? Can you lift through your chest, sternum? Relax shoulders away from ears, but engage through your upper back. Hands might even come a little closer towards your hips. And then notice if you're overarching that back. Maybe pull your ribs gently towards each other for some bracing. Still plenty of room for that breath. All right, so the heart is lifted over the chest, possibly a little bit more pressure. of the knees into the floor, even toes into the floor. Tuck your chin towards your chest and experiment with just getting a little half circle to begin with, gently side to side. Still keeping that draw in through the center line. And if it feels right for you, go ahead and make a couple full circles. Enjoying a nice stretch on the front of the neck. We'll get a couple times around in one direction. All right, whichever side your ear is closer to right now, bring an ear to a shoulder. Take a moment and pause there. Create a little extra stretch, drawing the opposite shoulder down. Bring your chin a little bit closer towards the chest. So still creating a lot of length through the spine. If the head was straight up towards the ceiling, you'd still be creating length through the head. Pardon me, I'm going to bribe my terribly behaved. All right, one more big breath, just enjoying the stretch with your chin towards your chest. A little bit more of a stretch behind the back of the ear. And then take a moment, look up towards the ceiling. Still ear close towards the shoulder. And then relax. Let's come on into some half circles once again. Just ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then next time through, if it feels right, go ahead, get a couple full neck rolls. Still doing your best. Find relaxation while keeping the chest open, shoulder blades engaged, shoulders on top of hips. Next time your opposite ear comes towards the shoulder, take a moment, relax there, lift through the chest, pull the belly button towards the spine, and drop your opposite shoulder with intention towards the floor. Let's bring the chin a little bit closer towards the chest. So looking down towards the floor or the knee. You can still have your eyes closed though. Enjoy the moment right here, right now. Look up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead, bring your chin back towards your chest. Bring your hands towards your knees. Find some big rounding through your back. So we're still in kneeling, but we're coming into cat in kneeling. Take a couple breaths right here with that big rounding through your back. And then on your exhale, bring your chest forward, still kneeling for a little bit of cow. Take a couple breaths in your cow, enjoying that big stretch on your throat. Emphasize it a bit if you can. Awesome. Back down into neutral. Next up, we're going to grab hold of that strap. If you don't happen to have a strap, and you have a towel or a belt or whatever t-shirt that you brought nearby, you're going to open up a little bit more through the chest and shoulders. Let's go ahead. Inhale, bring those arms up overhead. You can have your hands as wide as you need to. Exhale, bring those arms down behind you. Inhale back up through center. Take the full length of your breath to get your arms up. Exhale, full length of your breath to get your hands down into your laps. So you might be moving a little bit slower or a little bit faster than I am, depending on the pace of your breath. But no matter how fast you're going, you're still breathing as slowly as possible. Let's get one more time in each direction, up and over. Finishing with those hands in front. Take a moment with your hands on your lap, lift through your chest, Pull that belly in. Might be tucking the pelvis just a little bit to decrease the accentuation of the curve on your back. Awesome. Inhale those arms up one more time. Keep your left arm high and relax your right hand down. Feel free to use that strap. We're going to come into cow face. So bending the left elbow, walking the right hand fingertips up your back. Maybe they come together. Maybe they don't. How much can you keep your chest up? If you find you need to round a bit through here because that's what feels right for your body today, that's okay too. Walk your hands up the strap as much as feels good. Can you lift your chest? Maybe even applying a little bit of pressure on the back of your head, onto your hands. One more big inhale. Exhale, straighten those arms out separately. Exhale your left hand down towards the floor. Relax for just 3 breaths. Awesome. On your next inhale, let's reach that right hand all the way up. We're going to bend. Oops. Maybe hit yourself in the head with the strap. Bend your right elbow. Start to walk your left hand up your back or up your strap. How much can you keep that chest up? Try not to overarch that lower back. So a little draw in through the belly button, tuck of the pelvis forward. If you need to be a little bit more rounded because your shoulders are a little tight, that's okay. But if you can lift yourself up, get that extra stretch. 2 more breaths right here. Feel free to let go of your strap. We're done with it. Stretch those arms out once again. Let's bring both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, relax your hands down to the floor. If you're sitting on a block, we're going to remove the block right now. Next up, we've got a quick little ankle stretch. So once again, coming into kneeling, hopefully you're a little bit more warmed up. Might be easier to get here. Bring your hands behind you. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, and then lift one knee and then the other. You can lift them both at the same time if that feels good. If that's a little too much, though, just go for one at a time. Just a couple more breaths here. Opening up the feet. All right, come on out. Come on out. We're going to lay down on our backs. Have your weights somewhere nearby. Awesome. Next up, warming up through the glutes. Let's get into some core work, y'all. We've got just about 10 minutes of core work, and then we'll come right back into some stretching and relaxation. First move that we've got for the day are glute bridges. We're going to challenge ourselves to get 3 minutes of glute bridges. We're starting off with an easier option. You can move at the pace that works for you. In 1 minute, I'm going to suggest a way that we just change it up to work a little bit of a different part of the lower half of the body. All right, so before we get started, check in on yourself. Notice if there's that big arch in your back. Consider tucking your pelvis just a little bit. Nice neutral spine right now. We're going to press through the heels. Use our exhale to lift ourselves up and inhale to lower ourselves down. You're just moving at the pace of your breath. Arms can be down by your side to help you with control. Exhale, inhale, lower down. Exhale, up. Inhale down. This is already feeling real easy. If you want to challenge that upper body a little bit more, you can hold on to some weights in your hands. Even right now, just keep it up with this glute bridge. The upper back is staying down on the floor. Heels are in line with your knees, in line with your hips. Knees aren't going out or in at the top, just doing your best to control. And back of the head is down on the floor as well. Just gonna grab hold of this timer so we know what's happening with this party. Just kidding, I can barely see. We got about 10 seconds left. And then we're going to stay up nice and high in this glute bridge. Are you ready? So next time you come up to the top, let's just stay right there. Awesome. We're going to press all the way up onto the balls of our feet. So you might need to wiggle your feet in just a little bit. Hips are going to stay high. So we're squeezing the glutes. You're getting a nice hip opener here. We're going to drop heels down to the floor and we're going to press back up onto the balls of the feet. If it's too much for you to drop both heels at the same time, drop one and then the other. I hope that you have already started to join me in the movement. Remember, you can keep your arms down on the floor to help support you right here. Or if you want that extra little bit of challenge, you can once again stretch those arms up towards the ceiling. If you're feeling real coordinated, maybe even give yourself a nice little chest fly as heels come down, arms come back up together as heels lift up. I'm keeping my pace nice and slow here because we're going to have an opportunity to move a little bit faster with our last minute of glute bridges. Next up, we're going to stay high on the balls of our feet and we are just going to pulse it out. It's going to be a little squeeze of the glute, little drive of the hip. Stay up nice and high. We start right now. So use that exhale. Ooh, feel those glutes firing up. Really think about the squeeze of each cheek being what drives those hips up. And we're working to, create a nice long straight line here. Meaning that your hips shouldn't be so high that they're above your knees. Oh, we're almost there, everyone. We're more than halfway through. Way more than halfway through at this point. I'm just going to speed up my breath a little bit. Speed up the pulse. Good news, bad news is next up we have leg lifts. Lower your lower back down, stretch those legs up towards the ceiling. You're going to drop your heels with control as low as you can. Draw your knees back in towards your chest, legs up towards the ceiling. Remember, you can tuck your thumbs under your bum. If it's too much to bring your heels all the way towards the floor, find that diagonal line that you can bring them to. I was about to say, as your heels come down, can you flex your toes back towards your face? And remember, you're only lowering those legs down as much as you can without having that lower back lift up off of the mat. So just working with control. Remember, if you don't need your thumbs under your bum, you can always move them to the side. I'm just going to keep mine right there right now. Feels nice. Just get a little assistance from the upper body. All right, so right now we're dropping our legs and then we're finding this little curl in. Next, we're gonna change it up. So with your knees towards your chest, you're gonna extend those legs out, find just the lift, draw knees back in towards the chest. Push through your heels, extend out, point your toes to lift. Awesome, you got it. Find one spot to relax your eyes on the ceiling above you. Make sure you're still breathing. The most important part. So hard work coming right here. Can't lie. Feeling a good challenge right now. Did I set that timer? I sure did. We've got about 5 seconds left. Awesome. Ooh, with control. Bring the soles of the feet back down towards the floor. Take a moment, windshield wipe your legs. We're going to send those legs out nice and long, keeping legs planted on the floor. You can do this next one with or without weight. extending arms behind your head. It'll be a little bit easier to control the weights if you bring the heads of your dumbbells together. We're going to use our breath to exhale, sit all the way up, and then inhale slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Lower yourself down and bring those arms back up overhead. Exhale, lift yourself up. Do your best to lift yourself using your abs, not just throwing the weight. So you get a nice little lat pullover. Weights can come to your chest, and then exhale and lift up. And if that's a little too hard for you, options are first to just take a slight bend of your knee and press the heels into the floor. And then, as always, if you need to like throw the weights just a teeny bit, that's an option. Let's stay up here at the top for just a second, really long and lifted. Give yourself a nice front raise. So lower all the way down, inhale all the way up, and exhale, slowly lower down. Yay, we made it. Awesome. Just a couple more moves, y'all. We're going to roll over and do a nice side plank. Last of our core moves coming up. We got some side planks, we got some front planks. So let's press ourselves up into whatever version of a side plank you want to. We're here for 30 seconds. That's it. I have my forearm down on the ground, but maybe you chose to go for a straight arm side plank. Maybe you even bent that bottom knee. I'm going to bend that bottom knee because I think my form is a little bit better there with that knee bent. Reaching up towards the ceiling, we're going to gently roll our way into a forearm or straight arm plank in front of you. So come on, roll into that next plank. We're here for just 30 seconds again. Make sure that chin is not tucked towards the chest. Your chin is neutral towards your chest. Eye gaze down on the floor in front of you. Gentle squeeze of those shoulder blades together. If you need to bring your knees towards the floor, that is okay. Keep breathing, stay engaged. And we're going to roll over into the other side plank right now. So perhaps, much like me, you're bringing that bottom knee down towards the floor. Maybe you are bringing your top foot forward for a little bit more support than both legs straight, a little bit more of a challenge than that bottom knee on the floor. Still having that back really engaged though. All right, so let's roll forward one more time. Come on back into another plank. I'm going to switch it up and go for a nice straight arm plank this time. Check in, make sure you didn't bring your chin towards your chest. Chin is neutral. On your next big inhale, send your hips up towards the ceiling. Come on into a nice down dog. Taking a little active recovery right here in down dog, bringing your lower belly towards your hips. Starting to come back to our stretches, y'all. Walk your feet to your hands, hands to your feet, and just dangle. It's okay if your feet are not side by side. If the floor feels really far away, don't feel like you have to touch the floor. You can grab hold of your opposite elbows. You can wrap your arms around your legs. Check in with yourself, see what's most relaxing, and check in with where you have the weight in your feet. Make sure that it's not all the way in your heels with your hips stretching towards the back of the room, but the best you can to keep your hips stacked on top of your heels, which might be a little bit of weight in your toe. It sounds so vain, but one of the best ways to really check in with your body and with your stretches is to actually see what you look like. So if you have the opportunity during like a live class to have your camera on and glance at yourself, or even take a picture of yourself. Use your phone to make a video. Awesome. We're going to heel toe our feet out a little wider, maybe mats width distance apart, heels in, toes out, and slowly sit yourself down. Coming into a short little squat. If your heels don't come towards the floor, that's okay, but work to drop those hips. Hips ideally come in below the knees here for this squat. Just a couple breaths. Awesome. Release your hands back down towards the floor in front of you. Walk those legs back behind you and then shift your shoulder weight forward. We're back into a plank. We're going to give ourselves a little bit more challenge for that core. So next up, we've got some knee taps. You can either tap both those knees down towards the floor together, or you can tap one knee and then the other. Let's get a couple more. So either both knees are tapping down towards the floor, or you got one knee and then the other. Now just hold in that plank. Challenge the glutes. Lift your left leg, allow it to hover off the floor. Ooh, feel it in the quads too. Left leg comes down with control. Lift your right foot. Doesn't have to be too high, just coming off the floor. Bring your right foot back down towards the floor. One more time. Left leg. Release it down, right leg. Release it down, bring your knees to the floor. Send your hips back towards your heels. Relax your breath back in child's pose. If it's a lot on your shoulders, take that generous bend of your elbow. Do what feels right for you today. Remember, every day is different, so be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself because you are so worth it. And it all starts with that self-love. Two more slow breaths right here. Let's bring a nice stretch to the low back. So start to walk your hands forward and allow the body to follow. You can either slither forward, bring your belly to the floor, and bring your forearms down for a nice sphinx. Or if you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, keeping the pelvis at the mat, you can stretch yourself up for a nice seal. And then come on into neutral and tabletop. Let's get a cat-cow. Just moving at your own pace. Cat-cowing it out. Ah, awesome. We got just a couple minutes left together. One more cat, one more cow, and then meet me in a nice neutral spine, neutral tabletop. Oh my gosh. All right, so when you're ready, we're here in neutral tabletop. Hands, palms right underneath of chest, shoulders. Fingers can be spread wide like a starfish. We're going to keep the left um, knee down on the floor. Make sure there's some space behind you. So I'm actually going to inch forward a little bit. Left knee is going to stay down on the floor. Right foot is going to come forward such that the right knee is touching at the right shoulder. Take a little squeeze of your glute, a little push of the pelvis forward. I feel a nice stretch in the right hip flexor. And even a nice stretch through that upper back if you're creating some rounding there. All right, come on into the best neutral spine you can have here. We're going to tuck the left toe under and send the left leg out. You might even need to wiggle it out. Coming into a lifted lunge. Keep your left hand down on the floor. Inhale your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Take a nice twist. Really open your chest. Try to stack one shoulder on top of the other. And on your next exhale, bring your right hand back down towards the floor. Bring your left knee back in towards tabletop. Bring, oops, your right leg to meet with your left knee. Give yourself a couple cat cows. Find the motion that feels good for you, even if it's not traditional cat cow. All right, back to your neutral tabletop. Let's bring the left foot forward, getting the inside of the left knee with the outside of the left shoulder. You can push them together a little. Press left heel into the floor. Ooh, squeeze that left glute and feel the left hip flexor starting to activate. Awesome. Press into your hands, palms. We're going to tuck the right toe. Might need to even press the right heel back. Find a little bit more length through the spine from the waist. Right hand stays down. Inhale, left arm up towards the ceiling. Finding that big twist, really work to open your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades. Look up towards your beautiful hand. Oh, awesome. Exhale your left hand down towards the floor and send your left leg back to meet with your right in a plank. Bring your right foot forward back into that lunge. Little world's greatest stretch. Stretch up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right hand down, right leg back. Send your left foot forward one more time. Find that big stretch. Exhale, left hand down, left leg back. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Walk your hands to your feet to your hands. Take a moment, shift the weight into your heels. Stack your hips over those heels, a little bit more weight into your toes. You don't have to touch the floor once again. Maybe you grab hold of your arms. Take a moment, shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Bring the weight to your heels. Generously bend your knees, round your back, and slowly rise all the way up. At the top, inhale your arms up overhead. And at the bottom, exhale your arms down by your side. Yay, everyone. That was awesome. I hope you, like me, are feeling so much better after just taking that little bit of a break for breath and movement. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out. If you have any particular aches, pains, or issues that you're trying to deal with, let me know. Let's create a class just for you. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Can't wait to see you again on Friday.